Thank you so much for being here, and welcome to the ribbon cutting for the Lamanda Park Library Pocket Park. And thank you. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the journey to how we got here. And the way we got here is like this. 10 years ago, there was redistricting here. This was actually District 7, and this came over to District 4. And I was walking the neighborhood because it was our new area. And you see that apartment right there? I saw kids playing in the driveway and in the parking lot. So I had a conversation with our city manager then, and that was Michael Beck. And he actually started to investigate how we can actually have a pocket park here. So a little over 10 years later, here we are, and it shows you that the process works. Noreen Sullivan, my field rep, had brought the neighbors here. We had a lot of meetings, had their input, and here we are today. So thank you so much for being here. I have some important people to introduce, and please acknowledge them when I say their names. And if I forget anyone, please let me know, because we'll try to correct that. First of all, I did say that my field rep is Noreen Sullivan, right over there. She's right by herself. Victor Gordo, our mayor of our city, he's going to be making some comments. Is our city manager here, Miguel? Well, acknowledge our city manager anyway, Miguel Marquez. I'm going to come back to this one. Kenny James, he's right back there. He's the recreation administrator. Great. I'm going to come back to this one. Brenda Harvey-Williams, right there. She's the director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Service Department. Tony Olmos, right there. He's the Public Works director. And now I'm getting to the library people. Tim McDonald, the Deputy Director of Library Services. Catherine Haney, is she here? She's back there. And Christine Reeder. I saw Christine at Art Night. She did a terrific job. She's the Senior Librarian Adult Services Manager at Lamanda Park Library. Great. You do all that? Hayden Melbourne. Is Hayden here? Oh, there he is. He's the principal engineer. Our Commissioner on Human Services, George Pastorelli. Thank you, George. Okay. I wanted to tell you, well, I already told you. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to introduce the mayor. The mayor's going to introduce Brenda. We're going to do the ribbon cutting, and we'll be out of here in a total of 20 minutes. How does that sound? Unless you want more speakers, let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Victor Gordo.
First, let me congratulate and thank Councilmember Masuda. This is precisely how improvements in our city and in our neighborhood should work. Residents working with their local elected official and the city staff to ensure that needs in a neighborhood are addressed. And you know, this is such a creative way to do it, to join open space with children's activities at a library in the middle of a neighborhood. And so I'd like to congratulate again Councilmember Masuda and his field representative, but I'd also like to congratulate the staff. You've heard them all be introduced, and their teams for making this happen. And most importantly, raise your hand if you live in this neighborhood. All right. I'd like to congratulate all of you and thank all of you for being involved and supporting this project. It's not your city council, it's not the city staff that makes this happen. It's residents of Pasadena that makes projects like this happen, because you provide us the authority, one, and two, the resources to make it happen, and then you provide the support to ensure that Councilmember Masuda and I can go back to the rest of the city council and say, this is an important project. May not be, a glamorous citywide project, may not be the Rose Bowl, it may not be in Linda Vista or the Arroyo, but for this neighborhood, it's all of those things and more, because this is in your neighborhood, and this will make a difference to all of the children who are here, and then more children who will come in the future, and also users of the library. And so to the residents of this neighborhood and the residents of Pasadena, thank you for making a difference, and thank you for giving us the authority and giving us the resources as elected officials and as staff people to ensure that we're making our city just a little bit better, one lot at a time, one block at a time, and one neighborhood at a time, because that's what it's about. One lot, one block, one neighborhood, and ultimately that's how we create the great city that we have. So thank you all very much. Congratulations. Let's give all of the residents of this neighborhood a round of applause. Thank you.
I'd like to also introduce Mel Alonzo. Where's Mel? Thank you, Mel. And probably one of the most important people today is Lee Marable. Where's Lee? And Lee, Public Works crew supervisor, and his East Side maintenance crew. Where are they? Thank you, guys. You're great. Thank you. And now, Brenda is going to say a few words, and then we'll go straight to the ribbon cutting. Thank you, Brenda.
So he said we'd be done in 20 minutes, but he didn't know how long my speech was going to be. Okay, I'll keep it short. But I will tell you, my story starts out about 10 years ago. Because prior to being the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services, I was the finance administrator in the Public Works Department. And part of my job was to do the budgeting for all of these capital projects. So I remember when this was just a capital project idea, and it was approved by the City Council to be a project, and it became funded with residential impact fees. I actually calculated the residential impact fees to make sure we had enough, and lo and behold, we had enough. But what is so exciting about my job is that for the past 4 years, I've been the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services. So all those projects that I worked on that take years to come to fruition, when I worked on them in Public Works, now I'm here on the other side and the recipient of all of these wonderful, wonderful projects. Mayor Gordo, it seems like every month we're either going to a groundbreaking or a ribbon cutting, which is so very exciting. I'm so excited to be able to add a new park to our park inventory. This is number 26, folks, and we hope to keep adding to it. In some of our parks, we may not be adding new parks, but we're adding new features. So one of the things that was unique here is that this was just some extra land that was here at the library that we're so excited we were able to convert into something, because you may have noticed Pasadena is pretty much all built out. We don't really have open space available anymore that we can turn into parks. The newest park before this that we opened up, Playhouse Village, last month, we had to tear down a building. We had to buy some land and tear down a building to build that park. So we have to get very creative in order to address our needs for new parks. And I think Councilmember Masuda was ingenious in realizing the need, and then we found this space. So it's so very exciting. And I just want to reiterate, now that the park is built, thank you so much, Public Works. Tony Olmos has been here a year, and all he does is also go to these groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings. But I want to thank Tony and his team. Councilmember Masuda has mentioned them already for the work that they do in actually managing the construction of this beautiful park. And now that it's built, it gets handed off to our department and we do the maintenance of it. So we will be here mowing the lawn, making sure the play equipment is clean and safe. And that's why the council member mentioned Lee Marable and his East Side crew, because now that it's here, you need someone to maintain it. And that's the kind of behind the scenes work. If we do our job correctly, you won't even realize that we're here and doing it. So I just want to give a special thank you to our parks employees, because they're the ongoing people who keep everything working well. Now, I'm going to wrap it up because I know as I walked up, even though we have this ribbon here, which this playground is not officially open until we cut the ribbon, many of our customers are already calling for us to get to the fun stuff. And I noticed some of our customers were already testing the product before. You know, if this were another kind of opening, we wouldn't let anybody on it ahead of time. But we're here to cater to the kids. This is a playground for children who may not have a backyard. If you live in this neighborhood, as the council member mentioned, the multifamily housing, they don't really have a backyard. So this park will become their backyard. So without further ado, I want to get to it and let these kids officially start playing on this equipment so you can see how wonderful it is. And the last thing I will say, at our last park opening in Playhouse Village, one of the council members whose district touches that, actually it's the vice mayor, he said that before we opened it up, he went and tested the equipment. He slid down the slide, and I had to admonish him for that because this is for the children. And I don't think Mr. Masuda has tested it. Exactly, because this is for the children. And I had to tell the vice mayor, stay off the equipment, it's for the kids. But here we can just let the kids play. So I think we're ready to just call up and do this official act so we can let these kids get to playing.
Thank you so much. Even though I introduced him, he wasn't here. Our city manager, Miguel Marquez. Thank you for being here.